Men, let's talk. Let's be real. You ever have a moment where you're with a woman and you're trying to enhance that moment? Well, this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. Blue Chew is made in the USA. It's prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you don't have to go to the doctor or wait in line. It's even cheaper than a pharmacy, and they prepare and ship it right to you in a discreet package. You don't have to worry about nobody being in your business, nobody saying, "Oh, what are they getting?" No awkwardness, and you don't need to leave it. And you don't need to leave the house to get it. You don't even need to leave the house to get it. You don't have to go to your local doctor or anything like that. Go online, go ahead and order that up for yourself. Now, I'll say this. We got a special for you guys. For our listeners, visit bluechew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our special promo code GEEK, Geek. Just pay $5 for shipping. Again, that's bluechew.com. Promo code GEEK to try it for free. Blue Chew is a better, cheaper, faster choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast. And remember, when you support our sponsors, you help make this podcast possible. So please be sure to use our promo code GEEK, GEEK, at bluechew.com. Trust me, guys, it will make your experience so much better.
Oh, no.
Welcome to an all-new episode of Star Wars Saturday. I am your host, Jawan, and I am joined by my other fellow council members, starting with AJ. What's going on, AJ?
What is up?
All right, that was very good.
Simplistic.
That was horrible. We're looking for Dakota to hit us with something a little bit better than that. Dakota, what's going on?
You know what? All I gotta do is one thing. Hang on. Best $99 I've ever spent.
Oh, 100%. And Darth Vader breathing was 1,000% better than AJ's opening.
Right.
But all right, no.
Haters.
Seriously, welcome to an all-new episode of Star Wars Saturday. Let's start it off first with thanking and wishing a happy belated birthday to the guy that without him, we would not be having a Star Wars Saturday, and that is George Lucas himself. What I want to do is I want to just very quickly go around. Fond memory of George Lucas could be something he created that was very fond, to you, whatever. I'll start, so I'm not putting you guys on the spot. One thing that I was very fond of was, and it's funny because we're debating on this on Twitter now, was George Lucas's true love for his craft. Hearing him talk about, Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, just hearing him speak about it and then remembering how no one really liked those movies back then, it motivates you because it lets you know that through time things age really well. And I feel as though Revenge of the Sith is one of those movies that just ages really well. I remember I did not get to experience Revenge of the Sith in the movie theaters. My mom was not going to take me.
I remember the day I went to see it.
I
ran into another dude in my class, man.
And I try my best not to ever really say these things on YouTube, but my uncle, at the time, because it's not my blood uncle, it was by marriage, he got a crystal clear copy of a bootleg version of it, I think. And
we all got bootlegs back in the day, dude.
Yeah, we were all like me and his son were like huge Star Wars fans. So he was like, "Yeah, I finally got it." So we sat down and we watched it, and I just remember that was one of those rare movies that time just didn't matter to me. I was just suspended in what I thought was one of the best science fiction movies I had ever seen, in Revenge of the Sith. So again, George Lucas, happy belated birthday, man. And again, without you, there'd be no Star Wars Saturday, man. And I will say,
the maker,
you gave birth to one of the greatest franchises ever to exist. And I think
the greatest
once
franchise.
the movies I can't set an age. I'm a Batman fan. I can't go there yet. But I will say this. Once the movies start to become on par to where the books are, where the cartoons are, where the action figures are, where the collectibles are, Dakota, I think people will respect Star Wars the way that they've learned to do the same for Marvel and DC. It's just Star Wars for some reason. Like, Star Wars is the only thing that could legit leave for 10 to 20 years, come back, and then just be just as popular as it was when it left. Only issue is you're now in a microwavable generation. So you can't then take that jump because you're now depending on your audience who aren't diehard Star Wars fans, to keep up with Disney Plus, to keep up with the cartoons, the books, the video games. And it's just not logical. Like, think about Marvel. You see it everywhere. Legit everywhere. So I mean, I think Star Wars is gonna have to kind of get itself out of that. We can take long breaks and come back. You'll lose a good portion of your or your more fly by night Star Wars fans. But I do hope for the day very soon that the world appreciates Star Wars the way that we do. We created a whole show for it. But AJ, your thoughts of George Lucas?
Yeah. Y'all already know the dislike I have for the prequels, but those are the movies I started off with, and I did actually enjoy them a lot when I was little, and I do thank George Lucas for that.
What's your
Was
biggest
it-
regional convenience store? Because
What
I'm
was
gonna
that?
fight you in front of it. I'm gonna fight you in front of your biggest regional convenience store. Like,
I'm
here it's
not going
QT.
out.
I mean,
You can go. I'm not going out during this Corona crap that's going on right now.
I gotta defend those prequels, man.
But yeah. But anyway, I did enjoy them when I was little. Then what Juwan was saying, taste changed. I started liking them less and less. I don't downright hate them. I just get annoyed by them a little bit. But but just to stay positive, he did give us he did help with Empire, Return, and New Hope. And I will contend those are the best one of the best trilogies of any film there is. So that's do you have something to say? I didn't say the best trilogy. I said one of the best trilogies.
No. It's not that I disagree with you. I was just thinking, I got Lord of the Rings up there. I got The Hobbit up there. Some
I
may
don't
put
count
some might put the Dark Knight trilogy up there.
Do you put The
America
Hobbit
trilogy.
over Lord of the Rings?
Oh, 100%. I enjoyed them 1,000% more than I did Lord of the Rings.
Can I be completely honest? I
Yeah.
have tried many times to watch the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit franchise. Never made it.
I
through a
watch
single
all.
movie.
I watch them all at least twice.
Dakota, I don't blame you. I honestly wish. I
I
think
have fallen asleep every time.
I think Return of the King is my favorite, but to me, Lord of the Rings, and again, please, no one watching this. This is no disrespect to it. I was
not at all.
I did not read any of the books that obviously came before the movies or anything. So I didn't understand.
Read Lord of the Flies.
Okay, so
Watching three
we were
movies
having
of
a
guys just walking was oh my god, so exhausting.
When
we
you
were
now
having
could have
a
got a ride from an
argument
eagle.
at work. We were having an argument at work of which is the better franchise, Lord of the Rings or Star Wars. And I said Star
Not
Wars
debatable.
because
Star Wars.
It is Star
but
Wars.
but for that reason, I think Star Wars handles its lore a little bit fresher than Lord of the Rings. With Lord of the Rings, they tend to over-explain things.
Well,
and
they're not adding to it anymore. I mean, Star Wars is a constantly growing franchise. There's always new material.
We just saw.
I mean, we can't say that until the
new
new series comes out for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but they aren't pounding the market like Star Wars is.
Well, see, one thing I will say that Lord of the Rings has that Star Wars maybe had when the original 3 came out was it has a cult following, like not a large overarching, like you're more likely to run into someone who knows who Yoda is than someone from Lord of the Rings.
Legolas.
Right.
Yeah.
So you look at it and you kind of go, Star Wars is something that is spanned across every generation. Lord of the Rings started movie-wise. Again, I've not read the books. Movie-wise, in the early 2000s, and we've seen The Hobbit in the last decade. And we'll have to see what this show on Amazon does. But there is no debate what was a better franchise, Lord of the Rings or Star Wars. They don't even have
both kinds of fans used to get beat up.
I would say there is a debate, but I would agree that
if you think there's a debate, name me one character that you could think of. If you can't,
I'm not saying that I'm saying other people will say.
If other people think that, I would ask them to name me one character that is as known as Star Wars' least known character, and I guarantee.
I mean, you can't even say it's the movie that Sean Bean died in, because that doesn't really narrow it down.
I'll give you a least known character. I guarantee you, AJ, anyone that was born from 2005 to now does not know who Jar Jar Binks is.
No,
that's not true at all. There's so many Jar Jar Binks videos out there. I'm pretty sure many people know.
You could grab a kid right now and go.
Collective generation.
I will call my brother right now and ask, "Hey, do you know who Jar Jar Binks?" Oh God,
Jar Jar Binks.
Oh wait, that's not fair. If he's your brother, 9 times out of 10, you've exposed him to Star Wars, so that's not fair. You got to grab a random kid.
That's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't just grab random kids.
Hey, I'm not talking about tell him like. Throw him in your van and say, answer my question. Hey, do you know who Jar Jar Binks is? I'm telling you, you'd probably say no. Or if you don't want to go Jar Jar Binks, we can go Ahsoka. I think now Ahsoka will start to become.
Yeah, Ahsoka's pop culture.
Ahsoka is definitely something that not everyone would know, and I guarantee you more people would know Ahsoka today than anybody from Lord of the Rings. I can't even think of one name. Dobby?
You just said one name.
No,
Dobby's Harry Potter. I'm thinking Legolas.
See, there you go.
I know that guy.
Oh, okay. There you go.
How do you get confused with Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings?
Because their little monsters look the same. What are you talking about? They look.
God, you are gonna get freaking torched on Twitter, dude.
I said I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan. I said it. I said
the Harry Potter fans are coming after you now.
That's fine. That's fine. I want no smoke with the Harry Potter fans. I apologize. They're worse than Beyonce fans. But
oh my God.
to me, it's not even a discussion. Star Wars is miles better than Lord of the Rings. I don't even care what Lord of the Rings fans.
I'm still arguing that Star Wars is the best movie franchise.
It is ever
better than.
Whoa!
I was about to say.
You said best movie franchise.
Best movie franchise. Overall franchise?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I will.
No. Time out. You're saying two different points. Hold on, Dakota. AJ, you're saying two different points. You're saying overall movie franchise, and then you're just saying overall. Overall meaning cartoons, comics, lore, or are you saying it has the best movie franchise?
Just movies.
You think it has the best movie franchise?
No. Yes. Best movie, best combination of movies, merchandise, fandom.
Hold on,
it's the perfect trifecta.
Hold on. The original trilogies alone are better than most trilogies out there.
Hold on. AJ, you can't say it has the best movie franchise if you believe 3 out of the 9 are horrible.
Yes, you can.
What?
Many people think Aliens is one of the best trilogies or whatever it is.
Aliens and Terminator 2 are the best sequels.
Bad movies. You can still argue that.
No. Alien. You can't gauge Alien because it's not all one overarching story. It doesn't lead into
it could work. It could work.
It's not like here's the difference. All 9 movies are all tied into each other for Star Wars. Same way I couldn't tell you Marvel is the best overall movie franchise because not all those movies leak into each other. So that wouldn't necessarily. No, I'm sorry.
Yes, they do.
For DC, you couldn't say that. For Marvel, you could say that. You can't tell me you're going with Star Wars and you think 3 out of their 9 are bad. And I would argue you probably think 4 out of the 9.
Name another 9 series. Name another 9 series that has 3 bad ones and then the rest are incredible.
Actually, pretty much all of the James
Time out. I'd make an argument. I haven't seen not one bad Harry Potter movie. And you can't count
Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince 1.
No, there's like at least 3 or 2 bad Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
3 or 2?
3 or 3 bad Harry Potter movies.
No, I'm sorry. Deathly Hallows Part 1 sucked ass. I had to sit through that. I was so bored.
Hollows I viewed the same way I viewed Endgame, to where it was kind of like, your other was the better. Like, part 2 was better.
Yeah.
Infinity
It's like VHS tape number 2 of the Titanic. Obviously, that's where the boat's sinking, and that's where you want to start.
I'm just saying.
No, I tried to watch Titanic once, and I was like, no, I can't deal with this.
Yeah. I used to have it on VHS, and I always started at tape 2. It's where the action is.
I saw Titanic. It's the most gross storytelling of how poorly women treat men. But we won't get into that. There was definitely room for Jack on that door or boat.
100%.
Shit, I'm like, 100%. Oh fuck, dude, am I gonna have to distance myself here?
I will push Rose out there. I'm like,
yeah, no, there was room for 2 of them. There was definitely room for 2 of them. But she was done. Sure. But no, and I'm gonna go to you, Dakota, so you can give me your thoughts on George Lucas. But AJ, we're gonna have that debate because that makes no sense. Out of 9, you would argue 4 you don't like, but it's still a better overall.
3 I don't like.
You didn't like Last Jedi. Don't lie.
Yes, I 100. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Literally.
All right, that's excessive. All right, now I think you're lying.
Not
if you had
like
said 4.5, I would have said okay. 5 out of 5. You gave Last Jedi. What? They killed Luke, AJ, and you gave.
Look. This is what I think about Star Wars. The movies themselves, I think, are great, but with the newer sequels, I think the overall story arc is bad. Like, I love the movies as they're like as I watch them solo. So I like them each one by one.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get what you're saying. I'm sorry. No, it's not a better movie, specifically just movie franchise than Marvel. Sorry.
No, so I'm gonna quote what you say. It's all based off opinion.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. But I'll ask you right now. Name me 3 bad Marvel movies, AJ.
Iron Man 2, Thor: Dark World, and Ant-Man.
And I mean, are we talking?
Ant-Man?
Hey, hold the phone. Are we talking like Marvel as a whole or cinematic universe?
Cinematic universe.
God, come on, you guys can't keep acting like the pre-cinematic universe didn't exist.
No.
Sam Raimi's Spider-Man still maintains as one of my favorite superheroes.
I'm not saying that crap out of here.
I'm not saying that, Dakota. I don't count it because
it's
it's not part of one long story like the
MCU. I know.
It doesn't connect. Just like if you guys didn't want to count Solo or Rogue One, I wouldn't if you didn't want it.
No, it connects.
Yeah.
Solo, not really. Rogue One, only
connect.
because Vader was in it. Really, only because Vader was in it. It was a real true connection.
It explains how we got the Millennium Falcon, and it enlightened us in the game of Sabacc. I didn't know how to play that before, and now I kind of have a rudimentary grasp of the game.
Fair enough. All right, so I asked you, Dakota, fondest George Lucas memory.
What a handsome question, and I've got several answers for that. I appreciate that you guys are thinking in the movies because it's what he's best and well known for. But like his work outside of movies, like in creating rides and stuff for like Disney and Universal, like it's unmatched. Like he contributed to a lot of like the greatest theme park rides in the world. I've been watching a YouTube series on all these defunct rides, and it makes me super nostalgic because I remember those rides and now they're gone. So his influence was felt like not just in movies, but outside of movies and in the world as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's been so special to a lot of things that are happening today. I mean, I'll say this: besides maybe G.I. Joe, in Transformers, Star Wars has some of the best toys ever. Like there's
fuck yeah, dude. I just spent $99 on a damn Darth Vader helmet.
But I even mean not even just like the collectible,
and the Boba Fett one too.
The actual figures that come with like the
hot toys
and stuff like that.
The hot toys,
the lightsabers.
Oh my god!
God, dude, can I tell you how much I wanted that stupid AT-AT when I was a kid? Like I tried to find one everywhere and I could never do it.
I will say one thing Star Wars and G.I. Joe did that I loved as a kid was they were smart enough to create AT-ATs, Millennium Falcons that you could open.
Yeah, the things that make toys.
Yeah, well, you could put like your figures in them and like so I'm like thinking of so many things like that. I'm like, man. George Lucas is responsible for a lot of happy moments for me. Like
exactly.
a lot. But he's also the reason why I'll probably be in crippling debt before I'm 50. So thank you for that.
Yeah, like I said, thanks Disney Plus. You've once again ruined my life with Star Wars.
But all right, let's move on to our main topics. George Lucas, we do again want to wish you a happy belated birthday. Hope you enjoyed it. And we hope you are staying safe and responsible inside your house. All right, let's move on to some news. First up, we got a whole bunch of news from the Mandalorian. So we're gonna go individually. We just got news. Timothy Olyphant.
I told you, we had this discussion with Timothy Olyphant and Josh Duhamel. They pretty much look exactly alike.
They are the same person. I've never seen them in separate rooms.
Yeah, it's the same person.
All right, so Timothy Olyphant joins the Mandalorian season 2 in an unknown role.
I think it's Kanan Jarrus.
And I'll start with you. Go ahead. Go into it.
No, wait. No. It can't be Kanan Jarrus. Because, this is after...
Isn't he dead?
Yeah, after the Empire. Fuck, that ruins everything for me. All right, pass.
All right, AJ.
I gotta rethink my life.
Your feet to the fire, AJ. Who do you think is playing?
I don't think he's going to play any characters that we've seen. I think it's going to be a new character.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it like this. Prince, Harry, Daniel Craig, some Ed Sheeran. A lot of these guys are just fans of Star Wars, and they're like, "Can I get in? Like, I want to be in a Star Wars movie, show. However you can get me in there, get me.
Just throw me a stormtrooper mask."
Exactly. A lot of those guys, like you just said, a lot of those guys are just stormtroopers.
Yeah.
So I do think he will be. I'll say this. I'll give a description of what I think he'll be. I think he'll be a gunslinging bounty hunter.
Like Justified in space.
Exactly. Time out. Exactly. No, exactly.
And Givens.
I honestly think he'll be just like that. It'll be one episode. I don't think it'll be one episode, but they'll leave it open for him to maybe come back later on. But I really don't think it's anyone specific that we've known, that we've heard of before. But if I had to pick somebody, I would think to myself, man, I've seen Timothy Olyphant with a toothpick in his mouth, and he looks really good. Who else could rock a cowboy hat and a toothpick? I think his name is Cad Bane. I wouldn't put it against them to throw him in as Cad Bane.
How fucking awesome would Cad Bane be? No, Cad Bane hasn't been confirmed yet.
Right. Joking
right.
Just like Mace Windu hasn't been confirmed dead.
Oh, exactly. But time out. What's even better about Cad Bane is Dave Filoni never went back to revisit the character, like at all, to say anything about him. The last time we saw him was the last time we saw him. But I mean, I'm just thinking, he wouldn't mind, getting blue-faced and being Cad Bane. But that's a shot in the dark. I'm leaning more towards it's just a gunslinging, bounty hunter that comes in contact with the Mandalorian on one of his missions. That's what I'm going with. Dakota, did you fix up your answer?
Well, you guys put it right. Maybe he's just a two-bit nobody character.
Possible.
I don't know.
It's very possible. But all right, let's move on to a casting that it looks like is still a rumor, but it looks like is pretty definite. And that is Katie Sackhoff is joining The Mandalorian Season 2 as the live-action, God answers my prayers, Bo-Katan. I will be locked to my screen. I don't even know if I could, do an episode of this with you guys after that. I'll be sitting in front of my TV just hitting rewind 30 times. But no.
Just send a medic. Make sure you eat something. Drink water, I guess.
I refuse to. Unless she brings it to me, I will eat or drink nothing. But no, this is great news. I think all three of us are huge Bo-Katan fans. Seeing her in live action is super dope. I actually would love for Jon Favreau to dig deeper into some of these Star Wars Clone Wars characters that we have not seen more of outside of the cartoon. That Assassin's chick with the one little ponytail.
Aura Singh?
Yes, I would love to see her. So I mean, there's.
Wait, hang on, hold the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there some reference recently where someone's like, "You killed Aura Singh"?
Yeah, She's dead.
Where was that? Yeah,
I'm
I know
not-
dead?
she's dead. But
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure she's dead.
Who killed her?
yeah,
Is this
that's what
comic?
I'm trying to
Because
remember.
it was never said in the show. I don't think.
No, I think it was it Jedi Fallen Order maybe? Hang on. I'm
Oh, well,
looking
then
it
that
up
would
right
still line
now.
up. That would still line up then.
Hang on. Let's see.
That would still line up because Fallen Order is
Yeah.
around,
Perhaps.
yeah, because Fallen Order is not that far from where the Mandalorian is.
Well, no, it says she died somewhere between 21 and 10 BBY.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, she was killed by Tobias Beckett.
I think I think she died in Clone Wars.
They
No,
never
she was
showed it.
killed by Tobias Beckett, the guy.
Oh,
Woody
okay,
Harrelson's
I got
character.
Right.
That's where I heard it.
Okay. All right. Well, then, still, I'll say characters like Cad Bane, stuff like that. Just revisit some of the characters that you introduced in Clone Wars that we haven't really seen much more of outside of the cartoon. But this is great news. AJ, you share. I won't say you share my love. You're not worthy of Bo-Katan's love. You share excitement for this news. I'll say that. How excited are you that we're getting Bo-Katan in live action?
Very
Rumored we're
excited.
getting Bo-Katan.
Very excited. This begs a question since Bo-Katan's coming in. God, Mandalorian. Are we going to see her in present type of format for the series or the past? So like, will we just see her during the Mandalore War where we see Moff Gideon fight her and take the Darksaber, since we know now that he has the Darksaber from that last episode of season 1. So that, or will we see her present where she tries to take back the Darksaber?
Well, see. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you can go on.
Well, that's what I want to applaud you for, because as soon as I heard she was going to be in, or it was rumored she might be in season 2, I thought the only reason she's in season 2 is to get Mando's help to retrieve the Darksaber. You know, that they obviously come in contact at some point, realize that they're both of Mandalorian Kree, decide to work together. And what's going to be funny is, because again, I have to tell people this all the time, not all Mandalorians believe that they have to keep their helmets on, that they can't show their
Yes,
face.
I hate when people
not
think that
all
every single
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
I'm like,
does
there's
that.
a reason
No.
why in Clone Wars you
There's
see
different
Grievous'
factions.
face all the
Exactly.
time.
It's the same reason Mandalorian's not really a race. It's just like a creed. It's a bunch
creed,
of people
right.
who share the
Mhm.
same thing.
This is what I tell people to help them understand. It's a gang. It's a space gang. And all gangs are different.
Space Hell's Angels.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting when if she does come in contact with Mando to find out that he's a version of the Creed that does not show his face, because I assume she's gonna take her helmet off. Or it wouldn't matter who's underneath it. You wouldn't need to tell me that Katie is coming back to play Bo-Katan.
I have something to say that might
yeah,
make you mad.
Yeah.
This is one of my thoughts that I just thought of. I think that Bo-Katan doesn't meet the Mandalorian. I think that we will get her in the past scene where she actually dies by Moff Gideon, and that's when he takes the Darksaber. That's all I'm going to say.
AJ, that is so insane. You could have just said it. That could have been something you said. Why would you bring her in just to show her dying?
It would be a nice
fight.
fight. First of all, it would have been a nice fight.
It is a very logical reason.
That would make no sense. So I brought her in, this huge name to come in to play the live action of her voice, just to kill her.
Do you forget this is
Star Wars, dude.
The main
we killed Obi-Wan in the first movie.
Yeah, but see, the difference of that was, you got to remember, I don't think people knew the significance of Obi-Wan back when that first came out. It wasn't until later that you were like, they killed a huge character.
He was a main character in that movie just by itself. When you're watching that movie, he becomes one of the main characters and he still dies.
I'll say this. We have not seen that in present day Star Wars. We have not seen them bring in a huge name just to kill them off within a few seconds of it.
I don't know, man.
I will place a bet that we only get one episode from her. I am willing to bet.
Wait, one episode or she dies?
The
Because
one episode she will die.
I wouldn't
Just
debate
one
she's
episode.
probably only in one episode. I mean, yeah, it's probably in only one episode. She's probably in the same episode that we'll get to this later.
If she
That another
dies,
character
she
will
dies.
I'm not
dies,
going that,
she
and
dies.
it's not even my love for the character. It's more so I don't think you bring in Katie just to kill her off. You leave it open to where you could revisit her, maybe down the line or maybe in another season.
I'm just saying that was one of my thoughts. Just one.
Yeah, you purely had that because you know how much I love both. All right. Dakota, what are your thoughts on us getting Bo-Katan in live action?
Well, again, I mean, I'm floating there right along with you guys. I don't think it's going to be a huge part. I kind of agree with AJ. It makes sense if Moff Gideon has the Darksaber. She's not going to give it up lightly. They could very well kill her.
I think,
and it'd be like, I'm trying to think of what huge character is brought in, like friggin' Han Solo in The Force Awakens. Like, she's just there, but then she dies. Like, it has to be at that point. It's logical. It's just my logical.
That was a little different, mainly because they were saying Harrison Ford was very specific in saying, I'm not doing more of these, so y'all better kill me off here. Because I'm not coming back.
I'm pretty sure he said that for another.
And then he proceeded to come back for episode 9.
Yeah. He said that for
the
another
money must have
movie
been outrageous. The money must have been outrageous. But I mean, if it happens, it happens. Jon Favreau is a very great storyteller. The biggest problem is I honestly think majority of these Dave Filoni characters that we saw from Dave Filoni brought to life aren't dying. I feel as though most of these characters that we're hearing that we just saw in Clone Wars or Rebels are in the one episode that Dave Filoni is directing. I feel very strongly about that. So I doubt Dave Filoni is sitting there with Jon Favreau like, yeah, no, kill her. Yeah, no, that's cool. Go ahead, kill her.
Do what you want to do.
Have we talked about Captain Rex yet? Because I think he's going to be in that episode too.
I wish Joel was on here because he was saying that last week that he thought Captain Rex would be in it, but there's been no
Commander Rex.
Yeah, I've been hearing rumors circulating. That's why I asked.
Yeah,
but, I mean, it's a logical conclusion with the dude coming to play Boba Fett. He could just as well play Captain Rex.
Very true, very true. But there's been no concrete traction on that rumor. It was sparked by somebody that was saying, yo, wouldn't it be really cool if, like, old man Rex popped up? And then everyone was like, oh, it could be the same guy. And then it just started to gain false traction. But I have not heard it from anyone that's that you could say is in the know. But it'd be dope. You guys know how much I love Rex. He's my favorite clone. So it'd be dope to see him. But all right, let's move on. More rumors, sorry. Sabine Wren is rumored to be joining Ahsoka in The Mandalorian Season 2. That was a hot rumor. Again, Dave Filoni, when he came out and said, oh, I'm only directing one episode this season, it was like, all right, Ahsoka, Sabine Wren, Bo-Katan, this might be all in the same episode. Yeah. So, he's directing I would be shocked if Dave Filoni didn't direct the Ahsoka episode.
Wouldn't it be something if he just directs the first episode and that's it?
That would be hilarious because you would assume it's his baby. Like, he legit created Ahsoka. So you would assume he would want to take a shot at live action Ahsoka. So I'd be really shocked. But Sabine Wren, it's a cool concept. We know she won't get the Darksaber from the events of this season because we saw how she gets the Darksaber. Again, why Rebels kind of spoils a lot for us.
But this takes place after the Empire's fallen.
Remember you're saying she got it and then lost it and then could potentially get it again?
I mean, it's Sabine Wren. It's possible.
I'm just thinking Sabine Wren and Bo-Katan in the same episode. I couldn't handle myself. I couldn't do it. But no,
God
I mean,
bless you. I think it'll be a great episode nonetheless.
This will be really interesting because I think we all can agree it's really cool to see the Mandalorians. And what Favreau was able to do in season 1 with showing the whole squad coming out to join the fight was dope, and we would love to see more.
This just proves, and this proves a continuing model that is starting to get realized by Hollywood. It doesn't matter what type of thing it is from a franchise. If there are enough fans of it, they will watch it. And if you make it really good, everyone will watch it. Marvel did it with Guardians of the Galaxy. Who knew what Guardians of the Galaxy was before it came out, unless you were a real comic book nerd? I was a comic book nerd, and I didn't even know who the Guardians of the Galaxy
It's funny.
So you weren't a real comic book nerd.
It's funny.
No,
it's
I wasn't.
funny.
I was a poser-ass comic book nerd.
It's funny because, like, I loved Guardians of the Galaxy only, though, because I thought Quill's blasters were, like, so goddamn cool. And I remember watching it, and I'm like, James Gunn, that's not the elemental guns, man. Like, what are you doing? And I remember people were like, elemental guns. I'm like, you guys have no idea how strong Star-Lord is. Like, no idea. He fought Thanos on a moon. Like you don't know that if you're just like a casual comic book fan, but Star-Lord is way more powerful than the MCU makes him seem. But anyway.
I mean, that's fair with every single character, though.
Yeah, Superman can literally punch the earth into oblivion if he stops like a car crashing. Like the amount of force that he exerts, like in catching a human being that falls, they would splatter in his hands.
Only difference is though Superman learns that Quill was born a Celestial. They stripped his celestial powers in Guardians.
I did not like
2.
that.
I love that.
So much.
If you read that comic series where he was fucking Thanos up on a moon, dope.
No, I wanted him to keep his celestial powers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I don't know, man. I was more into like the Punisher comics, Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage. That was my shit, man. I was super into those.
I was only into Guardians mainly because I thought it was really unique taking a galactic team and kind of making heroes.
One of my prized possessions that I keep hidden away for the inevitable day when it becomes super valuable. I have the issue of the Punisher where he teams up with Eminem and then he kills him.
That is hilarious, by the way. That is hilarious. All right, let's move on. We got here from one of the head execs over at Disney was saying that season 2 of The Mandalorian will not be delayed due to coronavirus, meaning filming is done, FX is done, everything is done. So we will still be getting it this fall on Disney Plus.
Joe's rumor was right, man.
Yeah,
that shit was. Yeah, he was on it with that.
Yes, he was. I was very shocked. I was like, wait, what? When did they do it? He was like, they finished, man, and I'm like, when?
I thought they did it after they finished season 1, like literally before season 1 aired. I thought they started filming season 2.
I thought they were.
That's why I think we're getting all these leaks.
Yeah.
Because it's already done at this point. They're already in it.
Also remember, I tell you guys, AJ, I've told you this numerous times. Whenever leaks for a superhero movie or show comes out, it means one or two things: a huge announcement is coming, or a trailer for something is coming.
Tom Holland.
Right. Yeah. Well, yes. So I do believe whenever these rumors come out, it's only to build up hype for whatever they're about to give us, but it usually means something is coming. So I do believe Jon Favreau will give us a first look very soon, very, very, very soon. And then I think we'll see all these be confirmed. That's the one good thing about coronavirus. There is no San Diego Comic-Con, so it's available for everybody now. So that might be when we get our news, or a Disney Celebration if they decide to do that via online. So we'll be getting something soon, but usually when there's smoke like this, there's a fire. But all right, let's move on. We can get out of the Mandalorian news. We got some Taika Waititi news. It's funny. Kanan's going to get mad at me, but I always tell him to talk to me first. He promoted last week's episode, Dakota, as us covering the Taika news. We didn't cover it. I remember we all sat here and we were like, there's something we're missing. And then we were like, oh, well. And then I see Kanan had posted it, and I was like, oh, that's what we forgot. And that was pretty important. So we're going to get to it this week. And the news was we got a few weeks ago, if not last week specifically, Taika Waititi is set to direct a Star Wars film, and I don't know why I put he will also direct. He will also write. He will also co-write the script. He has 2 other people helping him put together this script. But so what I want to ask
I thought it
is,
was one. Wasn't
no,
it
I
one?
believe it was 2 other ladies. I think it was 2 ladies. I could be wrong. You could be right, AJ.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, just double check for me. But I'm gonna go to you first, Dakota. Um, I'm not gonna ask how do you feel about Taika directing a Star Wars movie because I kind of feel like you're like, all right, yeah, no, it's cool. So I asked something harder. What movie do you think he will be directing? Do you think it'll be Jedi, Sith? Do you think it'll be more of a bounty hunter movie? What kind of movie, Star Wars movie specifically, do you think Taika will be directing?
Probably a bounty hunter movie. Maybe it'll be your Precious Cad Bane movie.
I could only pray. Dakota.
Yeah.
But
I
no,
like him as a director. Wasn't he the guy that did Thor Ragnarok?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great director. And hell, I mean, if you can make it work in Marvel, you can make it work in Disney.
Yeah, no, I mean you're absolutely right. The only reason
Marvel's
I go
a tougher audience.
Okay.
way
maybe
tougher.
not a tougher audience.
No.
Yeah, let me redact
way
that one.
You sure? Because I think Marvel's a lot
Yeah.
tougher. Their fan base is oof.
No, Star Wars is way tougher than Marvel. Way tougher.
I would agree on that one.
We've only seen
I mean,
Star
as
Wars fans.
shitty as it is to say, no, we've seen the shitty side of them because
No.
that
I'm saying
whole
we've only
Last
seen it
Jedi
once though.
debacle.
We've only seen it once though, and that was because Ryan
we
Johnson
haven't.
completely screwed
I
it.
think the difference between those two is Star Wars, the fandom is more strict on their movies, while the MCU fans are more strict on its actors or actresses, more so than the movies. Like with the incident with Brie Larson, and then you had the incident with
Yeah, but see, that's what I don't like, and I want to call out everyone who's against Brie Larson because I remember that night where one of my reporter friends was at San Diego Comic-Con, and he was saying when they were in Hall H, there was word that they were gonna get a Captain Marvel reveal, like who's gonna be playing Captain Marvel. And when Brie Larson came out on stage and we posted that on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, people went bananas. There was no one saying, why? She's horrible. Why would you pick Brie Larson? People were fine with it. It wasn't until the movie came out that people just out of nowhere, I really don't like her. I don't like Brie Larson. But I will say what didn't help Brie Larson was her entire media run. During the course of the promotion for that movie, she just came out and was saying like a whole bunch of stuff and was like, I don't care if you like it or not. And it was like, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but no one complained that night Kevin Feige brought her out on stage. No one. Everyone was excited. It was fresh off of her Oscar win also. So I call BS on that. I will say Marvel's fandom is very toxic. Only problem is they have more movies they enjoy than they hate. So it doesn't come out as much. The Last Jedi was only so hated because fans walked into that movie expecting A, and Ryan Johnson said, oh, no.
I've got a whole different thing for you.
No. Like, I can picture right now, like Ryan Johnson.
You know how many times we've mentioned fuel in Star Wars? Yeah, we'll throw that out the window because it's the most important thing in this movie.
100%. Like, I feel like when Ryan Johnson's writers walked in the room and they were like, all right, so let's pick up where Force Awakens left off. And he was like, stop. No.
Look at me. No. Look at me.
I can see that.
I am the captain now.
I am the captain now. I am the captain now. Like, hey, burn all that. He's like, are you sure? Burn it. Burn it. I'll write the script myself.
Send J.J. Abrams the ashes.
Right, exactly. Ryan Johnson definitely beat his own drum for The Last Jedi, and I think that's what divided the fan base. Because you had a lot of Star Wars fans that were like, not that bad. And then you had the other half that was like, he is the devil.
To be fair, one of the most criticized things about Force Awakens was that it was too much of the New Hope. It was just basically the same movie. And then let's fast forward a little bit. Ryan Johnson said, okay, let me change it up for you. He changed it up for everyone. Fuck this movie. I want it to be exactly like Star Wars. What is this? Like, okay.
I mean, I will say this. Like, it was so confusing what the two of those directors were trying to portray. Like, remember at the end of Last Jedi where like the kid moves the broom and you're like, oh, he's force sensitive. Oh, there's more force sensitive kids out there. As soon as Last Skywalker starts, it's like, you're the last Jedi. That's it. You. It's like the kid.
Hey, I guess
What about the force kid?
To be fair, the
Hey,
kid
fuck
isn't a
the
Jedi.
kids.
He's just force sensitive.
Finn's force sensitive, though. You can make a spin-off movie where Finn looks for force sensitive kids.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not arguing that. That would be cool.
Thank you. So there was just a lot confusing about that. That was like, all right, okay.
God, what if he meets up with Cal Kestis and like he's an old man by now, and they like that could be a part of the Fallen Order series.
I would love it. I would love it.
Old man
But yeah,
Cal.
a lot about what
Cal.
Ryan decided to do was really confusing. But AJ, did you find out if it was one or two directors? Writers?
Yes. For the Taika, it's just one two writers. It's Kristen Wilson and then Taika who's helping writing it, and then there's a writer that's doing a Disney series, a Disney Plus series, Leslie Headland, who did Russian Doll and Bachelorette. That's going to do a Star Wars series for Disney Plus.
Wait, Bachelorette, like the show, The Bachelorette?
Yep.
All right.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, you have to choose one of these lovely ladies.
Wait, Dakota.
No, Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to be.
Could you picture if Anakin walks up and goes, "You will not be receiving a lightsaber tonight. You're going home without a lightsaber."
Before Padme years. You will not get my brain when I cut it off.
Leslie Headland is going to be writing for I think it's the female lead one, the female lead series.
Right.
Okay, so it's the Bachelorette from that.
Right.
Right.
But AJ, what do you feel about Taika directing a Star Wars film? What do you think it'll be?
I love it. I love his comedic timing. Star Wars has a good amount of comedic timing. So I can't wait for that. I already know it's not going to be about Sith or Jedi. I think it's kind of obvious at this point. So if it's a bounty hunter movie, I would love that. So that's that. The writer, I want to say, who wrote 1917. So I'm excited for the writing for that. And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
And Jojo Rabbit, we saw that had great comedic timing, but at the same time, it was a dark film. So
I still haven't seen it. I've got mixed feelings on the whole thing.
Watch it. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, just to mix those in and make it like a nice mix between comedy and just a dark Star Wars film, count me in. I can't see no wrong with this.
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to do 1917 but with bounty hunters, you're looking at the first ever Star Wars movie that people are kind of like, do we want to give this an Oscar? Like,
best picture ever,
right? Best picture ever. But
it'll
no,
do what the Dark Knight did.
Yeah, I want to see a Fast and the Furious in Star Wars world. You can get Vin Diesel, you can get The Rock.
Don't worry,
get Jason Statham.
Dakota, don't worry. Fast and the Furious is heading to space on its own franchise.
Oh yeah. They're gonna do what Leprechaun did, and I can't wait.
It's heading there. Like someone's blowing up like the middle of the earth, and they have to go into space and see if there's somewhere else they could. It's gonna get that stupid. Don't worry.
You gotta go rob a bank on the moon.
On the moon.
The Rock will be chasing you, and he's got tons of baby oil this time.
He's brought the whole Johnson & Johnson with him.
He's got a 40-gallon tank of it.
All right, so we're excited for Taika Waititi. We can't wait to see what he does next. Dakota, I want you actually to lead us into our next topic, which is one you were really excited to talk about, which is Jason Isaac. Talking about somebody he would like to play.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you lead us off.
Oh, yes, I cannot wait to. This is if someone can Taika Waititi could give this guy a part, honestly, because I'd love that pairing. But yes, Jason Isaacs. I know him from The Patriot with Mel Gibson, which is one of my all-time favorite war movies. You got Lucius Malfoy in the Harry Potter series.
Mhm.
I know he was in a recent Star Trek. He wants to play the Grand Inquisitor, and honestly, that would be so dope. Can you imagine Lucius Malfoy as the Grand Inquisitor? Like someone who could get his mannerisms down? That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you told me that, I thought I wouldn't be against it, but if I had to pick a role for him, it'd be Thrawn. Like I think his command, everything about
too.
him is great.
The more I've thought about that one, the more it makes sense. Because honestly, you guys are gonna give me shit for this. I think if it's done right, Tom Cruise could totally play Thrawn.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you shit.
Mm.
No, look, bear with me.
No.
Look, think prime Tom Cruise, like Top Gun, Days of Thunder, awesome fucking Tom Cruise. He could go back to that. We've seen him do it. He could totally be Thrawn.
He's too wild now.
Wait,
No,
time
thank
out,
you.
time
I'm
out.
good.
Let me say this. I think he could, and take all those movies.
Because he's gonna be older when he comes out of hyperspace with Ezra.
Hold on. Take all those movies out that you were saying. I would think of him as a great Thrawn only because of that Germany movie that he made.
Valkyrie? Valkyrie was good too.
Valkyrie. That's where you look at him and you kind of go, still way too short to be Thrawn, but he showed that
they can fix it in post. Yeah, we'll make him stand on a stool. He'll be fine.
But he has the command to be like an admiral, a general. Like he could do that. But Jason,
he could be the Star Wars Nick Fury. Honestly,
fair enough. But Jason Isaacs to me is perfect because he has that thing about him to where it's like you fear him, you look at him, you fear him. Tom Cruise to me, I would giggle a lot. Like as soon as I see it, I would just go.
Scientology.
He's gonna start.
This guy, right?
He's gonna just start running out of nowhere, and then realize he's in space. There's nothing to jump off of, nothing to jump onto.
You just see him running from his bed to the command bridge every morning. Just.
It's like, anyone see Thrawn just running? What is he running from? He has the right everything.
Thrawn isn't a runner.
Look, man, you guys can look. I just think it'd be cool, honestly. I'm sorry, I keep blending in with the Battle of Hoth.
That should play Thrawn.
I would actually.
There's only one person.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, AJ. I'm sorry.
I think there's only one person that should play Thrawn, and that's Mark Thompson. He voiced Thrawn. I just want to say that.
So, because he voiced him?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So then I tell you what, Andre Braugher voiced Darkseid. You think he should be Darkseid?
Sure. Why not?
Yes, Captain.
Why not?
As Darkseid, I am here to take over your world. Jake Peralta has bugged me once again.
No, AJ. Thrawn to me is only like handful of people that I could literally say I could see them as.
Oh my God, get the Allstate guy to be
You don't
Thrawn.
have to take so much physical effort.
You could totally get the Allstate guy.
Are mental, not physical. Most of it.
It'd be dope if it was the Allstate guy.
The
Allstate guy is Thrawn, dude. He commands it. That voice.
I didn't say anything about physical, but I was thinking to what you were saying to
make us jump into hyperspace.
A Grand Inquisitor. For a Grand Inquisitor, I would actually really love Idris Elba as a Grand Inquisitor.
God, no, because I want him.
There's only one Grand Inquisitor. I thought you got to choose one.
Yeah.
There's only one.
Yeah, Idris Elba would be my one. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
No,
yeah.
I thought you said one of them. I was like, wait, there's only
Jason
one.
Isaacs. I like it.
I might have said that. I apologize. Jason to me is just a perfect Inquisitor. I have so many other people. The guy that I thought was not Inquisitor, I'm sorry, Thrawn. The guy that I thought was Thrawn in Skywalker, the old guy that turned out to just be whatever. By the way.
Oh yeah.
By the way, can I tell you guys something funny? All right, you guys are gonna laugh at this, right? I'm sitting in the theater with Joel. We're watching The Last Skywalker, right? You guys remember the scene where they found out who the spy was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're watching it, and as it's starting to play out, like before they reveal who the actual spy is, I leaned over to Joel, and I'm like, they stole this plot from Rebels. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, this was the plot of Rebels. the guy that was working for the enemy, that was the spy that you would have never thought would have been the spy. And then when they revealed who the spy was, Joel leaned to me and he goes, "Oh shit, they stole that from Rebels." I'm like, I know they stole that from Rebels. And I'm like, I don't think anyone's really upset about the fact that they stole this from Rebels, that it wasn't that original, because I had just seen it on Rebels. And we were just laughing because we're looking around and we're like, no one else seems bothered by this. We might be the only people that are like, yo, you straight up stole this. Like almost word for word of how they set it all up was exactly what they did on Rebels. I'm like, Filoni has to be sitting somewhere like, yo, Abrams, you owe me money. You owe me money.
Put it right in my cowboy hat.
But like I'm watching.
I imagine the cowboy hat has a lot of significance with him, so that's why.
Oh, you know it does. Yeah. You know it does. You know he does not.
He wears it to the club. Dude, he wears it to the club.
He wears it in bed. Going to sleep.
He might be the only American that when the national anthem comes on, everyone is okay with him not taking the hat off. Like, everyone's like, yo, take your hat off. And I'm like, whoa. Do you know who this is?
But he still would do it. Dave Filoni would do it.
Let him do what he wants. Dave, you're okay. Do not take your hat off.
He takes it off. He has the whole London Symphony Orchestra under there. And just plays a theme.
Or it's just like this really bright light, and we're like, oh, no, you got all right, what else do we got? All right, to round this out of today's episode, we still got some time. We got a little bit of time left. Did you want to get into the BSI versus BBY?
Yes, I do, because as you can see by my background, I much prefer the BBY date and format that we've all had X amount of years to grow accustomed to.
Right.
Whereas, because I purchased the Star Wars visual dictionary for the Rise of Skywalker, A, because it revealed that Revan was officially canon, and B, because I heard that they were changing the star date, and then it places the entire center of the universe now. The starting point is Starkiller, the incident, and it doesn't make sense, because it's not the first time a planet was destroyed by, like, a system. Granted, it's the first time a system was destroyed. Honestly, it didn't have as much impact as that blowing up Alderaan did.
No.
You know, like, or if you're, and I was going to make this argument, have your birth date either be at Anakin's birth, because he's like a Jesus figure. Yeah. Honestly, if you look at Star Wars from an esoteric religious point, it kind of looks like a Jesus figure. So it would make sense to have the starting point of the galaxy truly start there and then bring it forward. But if you're starting it with Starkiller Incident, then it just throws everybody off track, and it's unnecessary. Like I said, I've had almost 27 years to get accustomed to the BBY system. Like, I'm not just about to change over to BSI just because Disney's the one that owns the franchise right now. Like, and it's funny because I'm not the only fan that's like that. Look, Wikipedia, which to me is like as true to canon, or it's everything. I'm on Wikipedia all the time.
It's the IMDb for Star Wars.
It is. It's the Wikipedia of Star Wars. Hence the name.
The only reason I didn't say it's the Wikipedia is because Wikipedia is known for people to just go in there and just change shit.
Yeah, I know, but it's as people use it as they use Wikipedia, and that's where I learn a lot of my stuff, because I just read. I read a lot. Yeah, but I found they were changing that, and I'm like, just you know, you can't do that. Wikipedia has yet to change over to BSY. They still use BBY.
No one's changing it to BSI. No one's going to do that.
No, it's dumb, and it just, like, I think we're all in collective agreement here. It would be more practical and simpler to retain the BBY system than to change over to the BSI.
See, I always view timelines to me are always weird, because I look at what Kevin Feige's been doing with the Marvel timeline, and I'm like, it's so inconsistent. But what Feige does is he just chooses not to talk about the timeline.
Exactly. Like, you don't have a general knowledge of when exactly the attack on New York happened. You just know it happened sometime in 2012.
Here's the crazy part. You've heard 3 different stories of Cap's era, through Agent Carter, the series, through the first Avenger, and then through the events of Winter Soldier, right? None of them are exactly the same exact story. They're all different, right? So then you go, well, obviously, He got more rights to different things. He was able to do different things throughout as time went. But it's why I say the timeline is very weird. Like when him and Holland came out and was like, "Oh yeah, Peter was that kid Stark saved in Iron Man 2." Feige, that's impossible. that's impossible. That's the kid that he saved. At that time,
it's like a 1 in a million chance.
It's come on. First of all, we know for a fact Aunt May doesn't have enough money to go all the way to LA to be part of that Stark Expo. Like, no, she couldn't afford to do that.
Oh, Uncle Ben was still alive at this point. You don't know what he did.
Right.
He could have owned his own business. He could have been one of those hipsters in Queens or Silver Lake.
She could have been a stripper and got a lot of money. But who knows?
Uncle Ben as a stripper? No.
Aunt May.
Now that's a Taika Waititi.
We know
Uncle
Uncle Ben
Ben
was being right before he died. He was right.
He was being a pimp. Uncle Ben was being.
He was running his rice empire.
He was running his rice empire. But no, I mean, to me, I kind of view timelines where I'm like, if there was one that worked, just keep it going. Keep it going.
Like, I feel like we're C-SPAN right now, having to discuss, like, in a judicial setting, the necessity to retain.
I will also say this, Dakota.
The bylaw, if you look at subsection 38 of the appended title code, you'll notice that it says the BBY system is simpler to maintain rather than changing to another system.
I will say this. One thing I've never really liked about how Lucas, or I guess if you want to say Disney, has handled Star Wars is I don't think there should be a such thing as canon and non-canon.
Dude, like you have so much to pull from. You don't ever need to write another original story. You could literally just spend the rest of eternity pulling from those.
And I will say this to our viewers. You guys know me. I'm biased in saying that. I love Starkiller. It is my favorite character ever. And the fact that I can't ever see more of that character is very disappointing. So to me, I feel like if it was ever created under the banner of Star Wars, it's canon. It's all canon. If it was under the label Star Wars, it's canon. And I don't know why, like who told them Starkiller wasn't popular enough for them to say, well, he's not canon anymore? Who said that? Who?
I did.
AJ,
you don't matter.
Wow. Dang.
No.
And you know what? And I want to tie on to that because Endgame just proved you can end a movie with literally half of everything dying. We could get a Yuuzhan Vong war. You could have that be the end of your world, and they could end up winning.
Yeah.
That would be so dope to see. Can you imagine seeing like the Yuuzhan Vong war in the movie theater?
I mean, and
IMAX?
What sucks about it is what Dave Filoni was able to do with Clone Wars, right? And how interesting he made the idea of a Padawan be, right? Of an apprentice, of a Padawan. How intriguing he made both Asajj Ventress and Ahsoka, right? You look at it and you kind of go, well, if Dooku had an apprentice and we saw Anakin have a Padawan, why would they think we wouldn't be interested in seeing Vader have an apprentice? Like, that's the most, because to me, you look at Vader the same way you look at Thanos, to where it's like Thanos brought in the Black Order and was like, hey, I don't really want to do much work. Y'all go out there and y'all get my shit done. I like the idea of Vader sitting in his castle just getting random emails from Starkiller like, hey, I just killed 30 Jedi today, man. It's been a pretty good week.
I mean, we saw they have offices in Revenge of the Sith. Palpatine was in the office doing God knows what, probably accounting for the new Empire.
I mean, that's what they did in Rebels. They made Darth Vader like the big, ominous,
bad boss,
and then you had the Inquisitors.
Yeah, but see, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying I would prefer you to say that there is a guy powerful enough out there that Vader trusts, that Vader just sends out there. He knows can handle Jedi. Just go ahead and do it. Go ahead and take care of it. Only because, to me, the Inquisitors was a brilliant idea. I love it. I have nothing bad to say about the Inquisitors. But when Force Unleashed came out, and I saw that Vader trusted this one guy to just go out and kill Jedi wherever he deemed it necessary, I love that. The idea that you didn't need a team, you didn't need troopers. You send one guy out. He dies, cool, doesn't matter. We go back to the drawing board. But then to see how powerful Starkiller became, to where he became this anti-hero, I love that even more. And I'm like, why wouldn't we want to explore that more? Sam Witwer is still here, still kicking, still breathing, at the apex of his voiceover abilities, and I'm like, bring back Starkiller, man. This is the perfect time to have a animated series of Starkiller that digs right into everything that the game was trying to do.
Either that or let him be Maul in real life. Please.
See, that's interesting because I wouldn't mind that, but I have a huge issue with it not being Rey. Like,
yeah, I know.
I just
It's
love
got to
Rey
be Rey,
so
but you
much.
can't like exactly match up his voice to Rey's voice
No,
in
not at all.
reality.
Not at all. Not at all.
See-
But I will say this. There was something very, very, very intriguing that I loved about him never talking. There was just something about Rey that I loved where I was like, he didn't say a word.
He said one line the entire movie.
What was the line? I don't remember.
It was when him and Sidious were talking, and he's like, "At last, we will have our revenge."
Got you. I got
Yeah.
you. I got you. But I like that. I like that his mouthpiece throughout that movie was Sidious. And he was more interested in killing you.
That and his badass hooded cloak. He's just like, "I am sending my apprentice, Darth Maul," and then he just freaking comes in like that. And
See, I would,
Go ahead, AJ.
I would love to see a movie with Thexan and Arkan, the twin brothers. I think that would be pretty cool. Them just killing everybody throughout the galaxy.
Oh my god! Wait, I know who you're talking about. It was from because I watched those cutscenes. It was from when the brothers were being corrupted by their father, and then he ended up killing his brother. But he really only wanted to kill his father.
Yeah.
I'll tell
that,
you,
that would be
I will
beautiful.
raise you one, AJ, because we don't have enough representation of women in Star Wars, getting obviously like the bright lights. I would rather the story about his daughter, where you see the lady that was training.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would prefer that. That would be a great movie. Are you serious? We might have.
I just like movies that have like a family rivalry. It just feels more compelling to me for some reason.
Yeah, and what's funny is about that. Remember, that's what Sidious did to Dooku. That's why Dooku, every chance he got, was trying to kill Anakin, because he kind of felt like, I don't really like how much time he's spending with this Jedi. I don't really like this. I don't like this at all. Not at all. So I mean, that was
he's
like
sitting there looking at him from behind a blind. He's just like, I remember when you used to do that with me.
Dooku crying in his chambers. But no, I love that, AJ. And honestly, you know who I would cast to play the brothers? Sam Witwer. They don't look that much differently from Starkiller.
They are twins, yeah.
Yeah, they don't look different from Starkiller. And I'm like, he could easily do that. Jason Isaacs could actually play the father. He kind of looks like the father a little bit. But no, I would freaking love that, AJ, so much. Both of those two story. You could actually do the story of the brothers, where the end credit scene is him kind of walking into a room and you see his daughter, like very young, chained up. And then the door closes behind them, and then it's end credits. And then that leads into the sequel that's about the daughter. I would love that. I'm talking myself into it now. I got to stop.
I'm going to do an article on that.
AJ, we got to fan cast that also, man. We got to work together and fan cast that. Dakota, is there any video game turn live action that you would like to see?
Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic. I've said it before, man. Please, God, give me Revan. I want Keanu Reeves as Revan, man. That'd be so dope. And especially with them doing the High Republic, come on, it's perfect timing.
Yeah, I would say this. I would say my only issue with Disney would be, if you're going to be ballsy enough to handle that story, it has to be, like, all your money has to go to VFX. Because all I want to see is lightsaber battles. Every 5 seconds, it better be a
So like Endgame, Infinity War, just basically all VFX.
Yes. Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
Not a single prop was recovered from that movie.
Let me say this so I'm clear to our fans. I don't even want there to be one scene of dialogue that doesn't end in a lightsaber battle. That's all the Knights of Republic were.
I'm going to take out the trash.
Like the guy, the guy comes out. Did you just throw your garbage in my can? Yeah.
He pulls out one. Just give everyone lightsabers, man. Everyone, everywhere. It's like a home defense weapon.
I want to see a dog bouncing back and forth with a lightsaber in its mouth. I want lightsabers everywhere, man. Everywhere. But no, you're right. That is what's funny is that's the one story everyone wants to be made into.
1313 or Clone Commandos would be good too.
That would, you know what I came to respect? I would love a movie quite like 1917, like you were saying, AJ, but it's only about actually is about behind you, Dakota, is about that timeline, but no Jedi, no Darth Vader, just all out war between the troopers, their AT-ATs, and
it was a glorious day for the Empire.
Yes, I would love that, and you could do it from this standpoint, right? The main character has to get the word out to Princess Leia, right? Has to get the word out that obviously they're being overrun, but he has a secret message that they found on that planet that he has to deliver, and it's about him trying to escape that planet with his 15 other soldiers. And it's about him trying to obviously get off of the planet. I would love a war style.
I will raise you that actually. There was an episode on Clone Wars where Ahsoka finds all the goes to that planet and she finds all these
the
younglings, younglings. And there's bounty hunters hunting them for sport.
Because
I would
of
love
Obi-Wan.
to see that. Yes. I would love that.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be against that at all, man. But a 1917
like Predators, but with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I definitely just want a 1917 war-styled Star Wars movie. That's more militant than it is Jedi Force power.
We did get a little bit of that in Solo with that war scene.
Yeah, but it wasn't the whole movie. Yeah, like I want a whole movie from
I need a whole movie
perspective.
Right.
Like make Domino Squad into the movie. You could start from their training and just live action that shit. I would pay to see it.
I'd be fine with that. I'd also be fine with a movie about Captain Rex and Cody, one of their adventures, or make it a series. Just kind of digging deeper into some of the wars.
And since nobody knows what happened to Cody after Order 66, you could totally make a series where Rex tries to find Cody.
I would love that. We have too many ideas. I feel like we make Disney money by the second.
Yeah, exactly. You guys need to hire us, dude.
You gotta hire us. I'm telling you.
And give me an annual pass to the parks. I just want to go there.
I want the money. Just give me
the money, AJ. If you put me in a room with Sam Witwer daily, Sam Witwer and Dave Filoni, that's my payment. That's my payment.
I need food. I need a warm bed. I'm gonna get all that, and then I'm gonna get Sam Witwer. I'm gonna get.
No, you won't be allowed to because part of my contract is if you take the money, you're not allowed to meet them. That's in my contract.
that's not my contract.
And I'm gonna take it to arbitration because I don't agree with the points. I'm gonna dispute this. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna have a mediator. We'll come to a good decision.
But no, definitely. Look, we love you guys. We love you, Star Wars fans. We do this for you guys. We also do this selfishly because we just love to talk Star Wars. But I want you guys to let us know in the comments below. Give us some ideas. What would you guys like us to talk about next week? Would you like us to break down a movie, an episode, obviously a show, a book? What would you guys like us to break down next week on Star Wars Saturday? Let us know. We might have our own topics, but who knows? If it's a really good idea, we'll make it an episode. If you guys want us to break down Rogue One for an episode, we'll do it. Just let us know in the comments below. AJ, Dakota, I want to thank you guys so much. This is a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun.
Always a pleasure.
If you guys have not checked it out, please check out our latest episode of GVN or Geek Vibes Game Night. Last night we did charades. It was hilarious. I lost. But it was a lot of fun. Make sure you guys check that out. And as always, guys, may the force be with you.
Always.